points, 0 carb, veggie and roast beef stuffed burrito. I've got pork rinds, some chili peanuts. I ate half of these and shared the other half. And I've got an Atkins little cluster bar here, and I'm going to enjoy that with this Diet Dr. Pepper here, and that's going to be great. Hi everybody. Okay, this is another day. It's taken me a long time to get to the camera here, but honey and I, believe it or not, we are going out on a date night. So we are actually going to go to Olive Garden tonight. And guess what? I added up my points from lunch. This usually happens like on a low carb day if I'm on Weight Watchers. I run out of points really fast.
Quick.
Yeah, which I kind of ran out of them yesterday on a higher carb day, but it is easier to do that when you're low carb. And so I have 1 point left for tonight at Olive Garden. So I'm obviously
have a glass of water.
Yeah, right. I'm not a big proponent for like the breadsticks, so I don't really care about that. I do like their soups, but that's not enough to really keep me, filled. I don't know. I mean, I don't know really what a low carb option would be at Olive Garden, and yet it's somewhere that I really want to be tonight. What about you? Yeah. I ended up having some of Honey's salad that he got here, and then no croutons. And then I got mixed vegetables. They're steamed vegetables, and a side order. These are 2 sides of the sausage. Hi everybody, good morning. It is Friday. Yay, we made it. All right, I am fresh-faced this morning. It is early, and I'm trying to find my motivation to get started on my workout because I'm like tired. Last night I did not hit my 3rd mile of the day. So normally I would walk after dinner, but we came home, I fed the dogs, the kids had a class, and they got back, I had to make dinner for them. And so I had already taken my progesterone. By the time I was gonna walk, it zapped me good. And so I was like walking around like a zombie. I was like, I just need to lay down. I have to go to sleep. There's no way I was going to get on the treadmill. And sometimes it does that to me. Sometimes it doesn't. Last night it hit me hard. So I ended the day with my rice cake at home and a glass of almond milk and unsweetened, and I took my progesterone with that. And so let me read you my macros. So I use a total of, wait a minute, I don't have my total carbs here. Hold on a second. Okay, so by the end of the day, I had 39 carbs. I ended the day with 39 carbs. And, if you're doing Weight Watchers and you're doing low carb, you will notice that you get higher points for a lot of stuff. It's like higher in fat. And so it does add up. But when you look at the calories, which I'm glad they added in the calories, and you look at the other macros, you notice that they're very doable. So it's higher in points, but it is doable as far as the calories go. And I think I just need to keep approaching it with that balanced view. And when I do these low carb days. So for breakfast I had 9 points, lunch I had 13 points, and dinner was 17 points. Now mind you, dinner for the sausage that you can order as a side, my dinner was really cheap because it was like $3.99 for the sausage and like $3.99 for the vegetables. And I thought, wow, the bill was really affordable. But I didn't touch the breadsticks. I'm very happy about that. Even though, one thing I noticed about the breadsticks, hold on, I'll get back to it. The sausage is only 2 carbs, so that was really good, and it was 0 for the vegetables. So that's what it said when I punched it in. But anyway, so that was really doable as far as a low carb dinner. But the breadsticks, it's like you can eat them the minute they get to the table, and then they're good. And if you wait until the end of your meal and you pick up a breadstick, it's like you could probably defend yourself in the parking lot with a breadstick on your way out. They're so hard. I mean, just bend down and sharpen it on the sidewalk. It's just, they're so hard. They're like cardboard. So, you know, I did not touch them. But anyway, okay, so I ended the day with 71 carbs, right? Which seems like a lot, but where they come from is I had 2 0-carb tortillas during the day, right? And I feel like my hair is sticking up over here. The Weight Watcher app was counting the total carbs. So if I went by net carbs, then I ended the day with 34 net carbs, but I am looking at total carbs. And so 71's not bad, I guess, if I think it really also depends on where they're coming from, right? So I mean, they're coming from low carb tortillas. There was 13 in each one for total carb, and then the Atkins little cluster bar I had at lunch, which was a nice treat, is two net carbs, but 13 as well for a total carb. So that really kind of threw me up if I'm, you know, counting the total carbs. My protein is 85 for the day, fat is 96, and then fiber is 41 again, and my calories went up a little bit today at 1407, which I think is a really a good number. It's better than it was yesterday. So I did jump on the scale, and I'm down 0.6 from 4 days ago. I want to get on the scale like once a week, but then I end up, you know, jumping on sometimes. So anyway, that's the way it is. So today is supposed to be a higher carb day because I'm working out here with some strength training, which I don't do on the weekends at all, and I just walk on the weekends. But today is the fair. It is a fair at a town nearby, and our kids have put in some artwork into the fair to be displayed, so I kind of want to take them to see it. But they have, of course, fair food everywhere there, so that's going to be interesting. We normally grab something for lunch there, and it's so much easier to eat low carb out, I think, than it is high carb, because when I do like a higher carb, I have to keep my fat lower, and so that's really hard to do out there. You know, I mean, you could get sausages out there, you can get hamburgers, you can get hot dogs, you can get all kinds of stuff and just discard the buns. But I mean, nobody's going to buy a hamburger and discard the meat and just eat the bun and say just put a bunch of you know, vegetables on it. But you know, besides that, I don't want to eat the bun because it's like white flour. I want my carbs to come from whole foods and you know, real food. And so you just really can't find that out there. There's always a vendor that sells like fruit, you know, but right now the only fruit that I really have is berries, because it's lower in carbs, but and lower glycemic. But the other day I did put some apples in my salad, and that was, believe it or not, like the first time I had apple in like 2 months. And it's just because it's higher in sugar, and I was trying to lower my sugar, and which I succeeded in doing. But now I'm being very cautious about when, what kind, and how much fruit that I'm adding back into my diet. I have yet to have a banana, so I mean, I'm not phobic about it or anything like that, but I do realize the impact on my blood sugar, the very real impact that it has, and so I need to be conscious about that. I don't want my sugar going back up so soon after I got it down. Anyway, so I am going to work on, this is my list of exercises for, I call it workout 1. I have workout 1 and workout 2, and it's time to do workout 1 in here. So I'm going to do that. I will show you what I have at the fair and see what I can muster up for lunch. It is going to be a challenge to find something for lunch there today. Anyway, we'll see. All right, for breakfast after workout, I have a 1/2 cup of egg whites and 1 egg, and then I have a 1/3 cup of homemade blueberry compote. I'm having one of these Chobani Zero Sugar yogurts, lactose-free. I generally haven't had too much problem with that, so as far as digesting, so I think it's going to be okay. And then I have a summer-sized muffin. Those are really, really wonderful for your digestion, and I should have that in my playlist. And then I've got like 3 strawberries in here as well. All right, it's time to go to the fair, and one of my favorite things to do at the fair is go to the exhibitors hall, and one of my favorites is to visit all of the baked goods that people put in for judging. Look at that beautiful sourdough. There's all kinds of cookies and pies. You know, there's only a few pies actually this year. Lots of cookies and lots of other things, breads, jams and jellies over here. I think that the judges have probably the funnest job ever because they get to taste all this wonderful stuff and judge it. But that would be really hard, I think, for me, you know, to judge it. Now, a lot of this stuff, this is the second day of the fair, so look at these homemade Pop-Tarts. How cute. They have sat around for a little while, so they don't look as fresh, but it's still really fun to see what everybody comes up with. Now at lunch I found a chicken gyro, and this is 9 points here for my whole lunch. And then we went and saw the exhibitors hall of animals, and I got to see these little cuties here. Normally they have a lot of chickens, but no chickens this year. I really don't know why. Lots of bunnies though, real sweet little bunnies. And my favorite animal to visit was the donkey. I think they're just so adorable. You know, these donkeys have a cross on their back. Interesting, because, you know, it was a donkey that carried Christ into town, into Jerusalem. A small dinner was 5 points. This is all I had, with a little bit of almond milk. There's my little rice cake there. Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday morning, and I am making a lemon poppy seed quick mug muffin. This is going to be low carb, and I'm using 3 tablespoons of almond flour, ½ teaspoon of baking powder. I'm going to be using 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of butter, which I'm going to melt first in the microwave, and then what I'm going to use is probably 1/8 teaspoon of this lemon extract and just a few poppy seeds, just however many you want. So I'll see what that looks like. So I mixed up the dry ingredients, and next I'm going to just take a fork and I'm going to beat this egg into the almond flour and baking powder mixture, and I'm just going to put in the melted butter and the lemon flavoring. Beat that up, and now I'll put in a few shakes of poppy seed, or however much you want to put in. Well, looks good to me. I'm going to spray this little ramekin or glass dish with some nonstick spray, and then I'll pour my batter in. Next, I'm going to put this in the microwave for about 90 seconds, then I'll cool it down and slice it. Now, if you want a little sweetness on top like I did, I used 1 tablespoon of the Swerve confectioners sugar replacement and ½ teaspoon of unsweetened almond milk, and I mixed those together and just made a little glaze to put on top. So this is my breakfast. I've got that muffin, I've got eggs, which I cooked with onions and peppers.